Mariners competition. This could seal it! Wouldn't you know it? Unbelievable!
The celebrations, there they are.
Talk about a grandstand finish!
Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The fairy tale is complete. The Central Coast Mariners, champions of Australia.
Hello, I'm James Dodd and welcome to the Isuzu UTE A-League highlights show. Week 2 of the final series began on Friday night at Allianz Stadium as Sydney FC hosted Central Coast Mariners in the first leg of their semi-final clash. After beating Macarthur FC 4-0 in the elimination final last week, the Sky Blues were back on home soil once again and were now pitted against Premiership winners Central Coast Mariners due to the fact Sydney FC are now the lowest ranked team left in the finals. With star midfielder Joe Lolly ruled out for the rest of the campaign after suffering a severe hamstring injury against the Bulls last week, head coach Ufuk Talay was now forced to shuffle the pack and opted to bring in midfielder Jake Girdwood-Reich as he switched up his formation in a bid to stifle the opposition. As for the Mariners, well, despite initially earning a week off due to finishing first in the regular season, Mark Jackson's side instead had the small matter of a cup final to play on Monday morning Australia time, and they duly secured their second piece of silverware for the season, winning the AFC Cup thanks to a solo goal from Alu Kuol. However, despite being on a high heading into the contest, the Mariners knew they'd be in for a tough test at Allianz Stadium, given they have lost both games against the Sky Blues this season. Your match commentators at Allianz Stadium are Daniel McBreen and Simon Hill.
And you fancy the pace of Alu Kuol in particular might be key for the Mariners in behind tonight.
Yeah, I think so. We've seen, particularly in the last game that they played, Sydney FC really dominated and smothered the Mariners in their playing out. I think at times that might be the option, as we see here.
Josh Nisbet getting away from Matthews, has Ryan Grant in front of him. Sent it out wide, Theoharis on target, good save Redmayne. First real chance goes the way of the Central Coast Mariners. And it's not quite away yet for Sydney FC. Steered across Alu Kuol, it only needed a touch at the near post and Sydney would have been one down. Two good chances for the Premiers in the space of 30 seconds.
Well, just as you mentioned it, Simon, it was a long ball forward, the flick on. Josh Nisbet was the man who got on the end of it. If you're going to get very heavy press, then that's one way you can beat it, straight over the top.
And Girdwood-Reich is done.
Well, that's unfortunate. It was a little reckless throw out of the leg early on, you see. That was the second one, wasn't it? I think it was earlier where I think he flung out his leg in a challenge earlier on and caught his left knee.
And I think that's the one that's
and now that's just
problem.
This one's emphasised it.
Yeah.
And he wanted to see if he could play on. Obviously, you don't want to come off in the first 20 minutes. It's unfortunate. He's had a great season so far.
Chance to put things right. Forward by Hall, and again that high line could open things up. It's Alu Kuol, slightly heavy touch, and Redmayne out to block. And then the ball squirmed away from him, but Rodwell hits it clear. And again, the Mariners got in behind. Here's Kuol again. And then a real heavy coming together with Bratton. Not the first time they've been in direct combat. Was just reaching for it, wasn't he, Alu Kuol?
Yeah, it was.
Over the head of Kuol. Mariners win second phase possession though, and could set something interesting up here through Christian Theoharis. Was there a little coming together on the edge of the box? No foul. Ben Abraham was in a good position. Here's Bratton. Robert Mack. This looks more promising for Sydney. Burgess the option on the right. And still Max Burgess. That was a shot. And there's a chance here at the back post. It's got in! Joel King, who got his first ever A-League goal against the Mariners in the home win at the end of March. Makes it 1-0 for Sydney FC with their first shot on target of the entire game.
Well, that all started at the other end. Christian Theoharis went down too easily, trying to get a foul that wasn't there. Have a look here. There's not much in that at all for me on the Harvey Norman replay. I don't think there's enough there to warrant a foul. There is contact, but then Sydney FC are quick to get down the other end. And Burgess gets back on that left foot, and as the Mariners throw themselves around, it falls to Joel King, and he tucks it away. It's an opportune finish, a nice little touch from Caceres as he tries to drag it in. Falls nicely for King. But it's Max Burgess who does the hard work at the near post, and the deflection doesn't help Danny Vukovic either.
Theoharis and Grant having a real tussle down this side of the field. A little flick from Storm Roux opens it up for Mikhail Docker. Back with Roux. Could be something brewing for the Mariners here. Docker again. Roux gets the byline. Here's Josh Nisbet unmarked. He should have done better with that. Heading, not really a strong point, but there was no Sydney FC defender within about 2 or 3 metres of him.
Yeah, really should have tested Andrew Redmayne there.
Very tight first half. We're into injury time at the end of it, of which there will be a minimum of 3 minutes. Rodwell. Bratton for King. Little backheel by Mack was clever. And Caceres was quick enough to read it. Here's Max Burgess! Big chance for 2-0 for Sydney.
Well, he's found himself in some good position since coming on, Max Burgess. And that was probably the best of them all.
The final minute of the 3 additional. Oh, given away carelessly by Kaltak. And then Robert Mack returns the compliment.
Well, I think Robbie Mack thought about the long-range effort there and just took his eye off the ball for a sec.
Theoharis. Ballard. Docker can have a go here, and Redmayne couldn't hold it! And Josh Nisbet following in has equalised, possibly with the last attack of the first half. It was too hot to handle for Andrew Redmayne, and Josh Nisbet was the poacher supreme and draws the Mariners level in first half stoppage time.
Well, Miguel Docker has grown into this season as it's gone on. The Harvey Norman replay, you see there, he just has a touch and thinks, well, I'm going to have a crack. Andrew Redmayne can only parry it out. And Josh Nisbet, who had a chance not long ago with the head, this time is first to react. Nice feat to just dink it over Redmayne and tuck it away just before half-time. But it was Miguel Docker with the strike that forced Redmayne into the save. And Mark Jackson, he loves it.
Ball and Kaltak, twin-minders. In comes the cross, and there's one of them, Brian Kaltak. Good distance on that header as well. And a loose ball will favour Alu Kuol here, and the Mariners could be away. Just trying to bring the ball under his spell. Alu Kuol plays it early out in front of Christian Theoharis. Did he have his leg taken? Ben Abraham says yes. Anthony Caceres, the offender, and the Mariners have a penalty from one end of the pitch to the other in the blink of an eye. And Mikhail Docker steps forward, and this was the start of his goal-scoring run from the penalty spot. He netted one against the Wanderers late on, and then he went on that scoring run, scored cracking goals against MacArthur and Wellington, 4 goals in the AFC Cup as well. This one kick is huge. Andrew Redmayne, of course, dancing around on the line. He was the penalty-saving specialist in 2019 in the finals. He gets the right way, but Docker's penalty is too good, and the Mariners lead 2-1.
Well, we said it earlier, he has really grown into the season, Miguel Docker, and he's become an integral part of this Mariners team as the season has gone on.
It's not a good ball by Hall. King. Mack through the legs cleverly at Brad Tapp. Max Burgess on the right. 4 in the box. Still Burgess. Has he delayed too long? He has. And now Quall can look to get the Mariners out of that defensive situation. That's a bad challenge by Jack Rodwell. And he's going to go into the book. And the Mariners are angry that it's not more. And this is all starting to come to the boil here.
Well, he went in strong, Jack Rodwell. And I have to see a replay to see the intent or the force.
Well,
I'll tell you what, that's
the foot's a little high, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this
A
is
little
going to
high.
get reviewed.
The fact that the foot is just a little high and makes contact with that left shin of Christian Theoharis.
Well, you can see there, the studs are up. There is significant force behind it. You have to wonder if they're looking there for the touch of the ball or...
Well, we're going to hear the verdict from referee Ben Abraham. Here we go.
After review, contact is above the ankle, studs to the shin. It is a red card.
Well, Tale can scarcely believe it. Jack Rodwell of the same view, but he's got to go. And Sydney have got a mountain to climb now.
Well, I was just trying to find the red cards that Sydney have had for the season. I believe they had 5 first half season in this season. So we have another look there.
This is normal speed. Yeah.
Well, at normal speed, it looks. I think it looks worse, doesn't it?
Yeah. Robert Mack's delivery, and at the back post, it's off the post by Matthews. Still there, over the line. Ryan Grant, but flag's gone up. Not going to count, at least for now. There was an almighty scramble. Hayden Matthews was first to the free kick. Did he go too early?
Well, there you see at the back post. It's gone early, but he's not touched there. As it comes to him, he's in an offside position the second time round, was he?
Well, Ryan Grant seemingly knew immediately because he put his hands to his face. Caceres. Squared up by Brett. Lacerda. Mack. Had a difficult night, Robert Mack. Without his partner in crime, Joe Lolly. Slip on the turf from Brad Tapp, and then a crunching challenge from Jacob Farrell.
To
he did get the ball.
Yeah. Studs were down.
Did he use excessive force to do that? It can still be a foul, of course, even if you win the ball. Then this set piece, which Robert Mack delivers and Ryan Edmondson gets on the end of. And now Barcelos heading upfield with not an awful lot of support. Was he obstructed there by Corey Holman? He was. Yellow cards. Oh, second yellow card. I don't believe it. Sydney are down to 9.
Well, I can't believe it either.
It's MacArthur all over again a few weeks back. Only this time, not in Sydney's favour.
There's 3 Sydney players there. For mine, well, it's a foul. It's a foul.
I think it's the arm that goes up.
Come
Look,
on.
I know.
It's a foul. Give the foul and get on with the game. There is not a yellow card in that.
Farrell. Nisbet. Barcelos. heavy defence on the training ground. Docker. Back post is Storm Rue. But Ben Abraham, who's been a central figure tonight, says that will do. Never mind the trouble, never mind the tiredness, the mighty Mariners march on. They break their Sydney hoodoo with their first win at Allianz, old or new, in a decade. Advantage to the Premiers ahead of the second leg. Sydney having all to do in Gosford against the Mariners team for whom the treble remains very much on. It's just Sydney FC's second ever home finals defeat. They lost Jack Rodwell and Corey Holman to red cards, which made their job doubly difficult. All that after they'd taken the lead through Joel King. Josh Nisbet with the equaliser on the cusp of half-time. And then a second-half penalty dispatched by Mikael Docker after Christian Theoharis had been fouled by Anthony Caceres. And once again, it is all hail the conquering Central Coast Mariners. They've beaten Sydney FC in the first leg of this semi-final by 2-1.
So Central Coast Mariners securing a vital first leg victory over a 9-man Sydney FC outfit, who will now be without defender Jack Rodwell and midfielder Corey Holman for the second leg at Industry Group Stadium following their respective red cards. Join us after the break as we bring you the first leg of the second semi-final clash between Melbourne Victory and Wellington Phoenix. Following Central Coast's 2-1 win over Sydney on Friday night, attention then turned to Amy Park on Sunday, where third place Melbourne Victory hosted second place Wellington Phoenix. Having won their last encounter in the league thanks to a 95th minute winner from defender Finn Sermon, Giancarlo Italiano's Wellington arrived in Melbourne now unbeaten against Victory this season across 4 matches. However, they do have a mental hurdle when it comes to winning at Amy Park, with their winless run at the venue currently standing at 20 matches. As for the home side, well, Tony Popovic's Melbourne Victory have won 6 of their 7 previous A-League men finals at Amy Park, the most recent of which being last weekend's dramatic elimination final victory over Melbourne City, with goalkeeper Paul Izzo proving to be the hero, saving 4 penalties in the tie to send his side through to the semi-finals. Your match commentators at Amy Park are Andy Harper and Robbie Thompson.
Isn't it the way? The easiest pass of the sequence is the one, fortunately for Tim Payne, who was in this time, that breaks it down. They got out of some pretty potentially sticky situations there, Wellington, but did it with aplomb until the last pass, which was the easiest of them all, brought them undone.
It's a great ball from Traore for Khalifi, who had to change his run. Now Fornaroli! Again, it was from the edge of the box. That's what Wellington will give you. But with Paulson in goal, the number 1 shot stopper in the league, it doesn't always make it past.
No, we don't often see Bruno fire from here with full instep.
Traore now. Back in towards Fornaroli. Intercepted by Rufa, but Traore did well. Just sowed that seed of doubt. Khalifi against ball. Khalifi does brilliantly. Sermon heads away again. It's another corner.
It's great pressure from Victor. It's even better defending.
Force back. Ball still. Now with Old. Kraev. Barbarousis in the middle. Ben Old. Deflected. Back post. Pennington. Can't keep it down, but the flag was up for offside anyway.
Irrespective, it's excellent work from Khalifi on the far post. Getting onto his weaker right foot, but it's still problematic for Victory.
Rufa looking for Payne. Ball straight back towards Payne. It's dealt with by Adama Traore. Not for long, it's Pennington again who's won it back. Pennington and Barbarousis getting in each other's way.
Well, maybe Nicholas Pennington was just getting outside his station there, a little too carried away.
Payne does brilliantly to keep that in. Sermon launches it long. Barbarousis not giving anything away, but his header just finds Bonavacia. Valupale. Valadon again. Jordi Valadon! And if that had been either side of Alex Paulson, it might have had a different outcome. with Teague. Now Valadon. Bonavacia again. On the right foot, hits it. Bouncing just in front of Paulson, but no real danger again for the keeper.
They're very comfortable in the season. Paulson said, of course, you need to be doing better than that. But Rolly Bonavacia hasn't had a lot of football since returning to the A-League, and he still naturally remains a fantastic player. The same quality we saw as a Phoenix player and as a Wanderer.
Corner barely seconds in at the start of the second half. Bonavacia's first header was not the best. It's back out to Old. And again, we know he can hit them from that kind of range. It's been a breakout season for him, really, in terms of consistency and making the difference.
Wellington have only conceded 26 goals in 27 league games this year. We thought they might take a conservative approach, but I think it's been a tactical masterclass so far. One of the concerns was from Wellington too, that they didn't have big game experience.
As Fornaroli tries another one from distance.
Yeah, and this young side, inexperienced final side, might struggle with this occasion, but there's been no sign of that so far.
Falami, that's a good touch. Ben Falami now, he decides to try one from distance.
Well, space is at such a premium that the Victory players now are looking to take the shot whilst they get a chance, because the space is closed pretty quickly, and even if you do manage to exploit some of the space, you've got to get through Sermon and Wooten, which has proven very difficult all season, never mind the guy in pink behind him, Alex Paulson.
Fornaroli, he strikes it tamely towards Paulson, and again, doesn't need saying, it's outside the box again.
And they haven't made Paulson move. None of these shots have made Paulson move. This is a promising build-up from Victory, and their leading marksman.
And it's the defences that come out on top in the first leg of this semi-final at Amy Park. It will all be on the line in 6 days' time at Sky Stadium in the New Zealand capital. Alex Rufer, immense in the middle of the park for his side, epitomising this defensive display. Poor Izzo didn't have as much work to do as last weekend, but what he did have to do, he did well enough to secure the clean sheet. But Melbourne Victory just did not have the firepower to unsettle a Wellington Phoenix side that came here looking for their 100th clean sheet in their history. And that's exactly what they got. And they will perhaps now just start the slightest of favourites for the return leg at Sky Stadium next Saturday. It's finished here at Amy Park. Melbourne Victory 0, Wellington Phoenix 0.
So honours even after the first leg at Amy Park, as a 12th clean sheet of the campaign for Wellington Phoenix puts them in a solid position heading into the return fixture next week at Sky Stadium. That's all we've got time for on this week's edition of the Isuzu UTE A-League Highlight Show. We'll see you next time.